It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso. You're live at S3, and I need to introduce you to somebody who was born and raised on the Cape Flats. Jared Rudolph noticed the disparity between the rich and the poor and how it affects the communities. He's since become involved in uplifting and inspiring underprivileged youth around Cape Town with his passion. He uses art to connect, to instill hope, to unify the community as well, giving kids the freedom to explore and embrace their creativity. So, creative director, activist, artist, legend, Jared Rudolph, welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. I had to give you a proper intro, man. You know
That
what I'm
was the
saying?
best intro I've ever received.
Thank
so
you. I was actually going to paint you a picture while the intro happened.
live sketch.
I was going to do a sketch, but it's fine. I'll do that later. But
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
welcome, man. It's great to
appreciate
actually have somebody that is part of your craft, an artist who is actually using the vehicle of art to tell people that they can paint their own picture in their future, which is quite a beautiful sort of connection to what you do. But let's start with where you started, apparently in primary school.
Yeah.
You know, we all sketched on the desk. Were you one of those kids?
I was one of those
I
kids,
knew it.
actually. I still do sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the compass, the mathematics
and the
set here.
typics.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
But you know, it starts somewhere. Now, how did you know it as a passion? Like, what made you take it seriously when you were starting out?
I distinctly remember when I was 5 years old, my teacher brought an artist to our school.
Yes.
And he did this live installation like on the blackboard, and I can still remember the drawing. It was like there's two lines that led to a road with some buildings, a saxophonist like playing
Yes.
saxophone, and that stuck with me like all these years. And it was kind of like watching magic come to life for the first time. And so I kind of wanted to replicate that, and that's what I'm doing now. So even now with my community projects as well,
Yeah.
just seeing like the look on these kids' faces reminds me back of when I was 5 years old, and seeing, you know, art come to life for the first time.
Well,
So,
let's be honest. You know, art is manifesting life in a way that is quite, you know, you touch and feel tangible. But what's even more tangible in your community, you see, you know, the realities. And you are from Bridgetown,
Yeah.
Cape Town,
Yeah.
and if you look around you, that type of reality, sometimes it's not always that positive. So
Exactly.
what made you look at that around you and say, hey, let's start something using my craft and get everybody else painting the good picture around them?
Yeah, I think it started just because of that. I couldn't find, you know,
Yeah.
positive role models to look up to. You know, if you know Bridgetown, you know that people just chilling on corners, they're smoking, they're drinking, not really doing a lot. And so I kind of took it upon myself to become that,
Yeah.
and become that visual representation of there is hope, there is beauty within the struggle itself, and I just want to highlight that beauty instead of, you know, saying it's all bad, and showing you that there are beautiful things that can come out of it.
And you've got projects as well. Do you want to tell me about maybe a few of those?
Yeah, for sure. So one of them was called the I Am campaign.
Yes.
It started with just a friend of mine that I used to visit in Phoenix, close to Joe Slovo. I would just see these kids every day as I would skate past them, and I just built a relationship with them. And then one day I sent out like a tweet, and it just like exploded, and people were like, okay, cool, we'll help you out. So basically got donations of like clothing, food supplies, art supplies, school supplies. And I went to one of the parks, did like a park cleanup, played some music for the kids, we just vibed out. And yeah, from then it kind of snowballed. And so I just started going to different communities like Bridgetown, for example, get the kids there involved as well. Same concept, just music, making sure that they have a safe environment.
Perfect.
And also like watch art, you know, come to life as well.
That is great, man. I mean,
Yeah.
because art is life, and life is art. So
Yeah.
we have to feel that as well. But you brought a couple of pieces here, and I want to touch on them, because, I mean, you're renowned, because I know that you've traveled, New York, Switzerland, you know, your art's been around, and that's amazing coming from Bridgetown. I know that there are other young artists looking up to you now, saying that they can do the same thing, which is so important. But I want to take a little peek at some of your pieces over here.
Okay, cool.
First one, front and center.
Yeah.
The horse in the room. what is this one, inspiration? Take me through it.
Sure. So this one, it's called Better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. So it's basically having that mentality of being adaptable in any situation, but it was derived from, you know, Jesus sending his disciples out, and I kind of wanted to put like a modern, relatable twist to it.
Yeah.
And also, you know, something that we can relate to as South Africans, and that's why I've incorporated, like, you see the loincloth.
Yes.
And like the bow and arrow. The ones and zeros kind of symbolize the systematic, programmed way that I think people of color are viewed sometimes. And like I said, I also want to bring that identity back. So Yeah, this started when I did my pilgrimage. I did a pilgrimage from Cape Town to Zimbabwe, where I spent
Wow.
44 days walking and hitchhiking. And that taught me that warrior mentality of adapting.
We've been seeing all these paintings over here. I mean, we went in depth here, but if you just could label the other ones, I know we can go into more depth a little later, but
Sure.
this one alongside you, what would you call this one?
King Tsugi. So it's based off of the Japanese philosophy Kintsugi,
Yes.
which means joining broken ceramics back with gold. But I did it with a person, so
Wow.
just to kind of show us we're not broken,
Yeah.
and that our flaws actually make us better and stronger. And then, like I said, as a skater, I'm a wanderer,
Yeah.
and these are the Tuareg people in Mali,
Yes.
and they use their camels to kind of wander around, similar to like a skateboard.
Oh, man.
So yeah.
Dude, there's so much to you. I'd love to see more of your pieces. Is there a website we can go to that
Yes.
we can go check it out on?
So it's thirdeyeart.co.za, iiiart.co.za. You'll find my portfolio, projects, campaigns. Yeah.
That is
everything
so,
over there.
so cool. Jared Rudolph, this is a product of your community, and if you're an artist and you feel like maybe you can't actually take your art anywhere, look at this gentleman over here. Get the inspiration. It was Youth Day just yesterday, and he wants you to believe as well. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and we're going to continue the beautiful art of starting your weekend right now.